Good morning. Grade 3 Maths Unit 2, page 21. So, we're looking at fractions. A fraction means a part of something. So if this is the whole, then when we cut it into two pieces, we now have two halves. Those are called fractions. And we can do that in more than one way. So if we do this, we've divided it into four quarters. Okay? Now, let's look at this. Here we have a picture which shows halves and equivalent fractions. This is a whole, here is half. This is thirds, which are also, three of them would be one whole. Now we have quarters, and we have sixths, eighths, and tenths. Now, when you got one, then you got half. Can you make halves out of thirds? And the answer to that is no. If you have quarters, 4 quarters is the same as 2 halves, and it's the same as 1 whole. Can you do the same thing with sixths? Sixths, you can divide down the middle. So 3/6 is the same as 1 half. Eighths, 4/8 is the same as 1 half. 5/10 is the same as 1 half. Now, write down all of the fractions you can see which are equivalent to a half. So, that means that you write down all of these which are possible to make a half. So, if you look at this, there's a line down the middle here. So that means that all of these can be made into halves. The only one that can't is thirds. So you write down those answers here. Now, what else do you notice? Write down anything that you can think of. Now, take a piece of paper and fold it in half. Draw it here and label each half. So you get your piece of paper. There's your piece of paper. And you fold it so that it's in two pieces. And then you draw that here. Then you fold it again. And now you've got 4 quarters. Then you fold it again. When you fold it again, you get eighths. So draw that picture here. So you're drawing 1, 2, 3 pictures. So we're still looking at halves and equivalent fractions. So you need to write answers in these places. Number 10. Is that odd or even? Write half the number here. Here's one that's done for you. This is 12. It's an even number, and half of that is 6. 15. Odd or even? Write half the number. Here's an example. 19 is odd, so you write 9.5. Do the same for all these other numbers. Now complete these sentences. If I halve an even number, the answer is, write your answer here. If I halve an odd number, the answer is, write the answer here. Complete this sentence. A method of halving an odd number is, And what you're doing is you're creating a fraction. A method for halving an odd number is to make a complex fraction like this, 9.5. Now we are in the workbook, we're still talking about fractions, we're on page 13. Here we're looking at halves. If you fold up a piece of paper, you can then make a half like this. This is also half, and this is also half. Here are some important words. You need to make sure that you understand these words. If you don't, then you need to look them up. Halves and equivalent fractions. So we have here a chart which is the same as the one in the book, in the textbook. If you can't see this picture very well, use the picture in the textbook. Write 4 equivalent fractions for half. Draw the bars from the fraction wall to show that they are equivalent. So the first one's done for you. So half is the same as 2 over 4. And that's half and that's 2 quarters. So you need to do the same thing for 4 more numbers. Okay, so you find the numbers from the chart and then you draw it like this and you draw it like this. So you put half here and then you put, this is quarters, so you can put, I don't know, whatever number you think you can find. You've already done this in the textbook. Now then, you can use the fraction rule to answer questions. Circle the correct answer, true or false. 3/10 is larger than a half, true or false. So you look for 3/10 and then you compare that with half. Which one is bigger? And you put a circle round the correct answer. You do the same for the other questions. Still on halves and equivalent fractions? Write the missing numbers by halving and doubling. So half the number, there's the number, these are the numbers down the middle. So that's 26, half is 13, and double is 52. Here you've only got double the number. So to find the number, you go half of that. And then to find half of this number, you put half of that here. Then you do the same thing for this one. You've got half the number, so you double it to find the number, and then you've got the number now, so now you can double that to find double the number. And then you do the same thing for the other questions. Now then, complete these number tracks by doubling. The first one is done for you. So you've got 3, 6, 12, 24, 48. So now you've got to double these numbers. So you double this, 1, 2 ones is 2, and then double that is 4, and so on. And then you do the same thing for these other numbers. And that is the end of your work for today.